Welcome guys to another pattern drafting and sewing tutorial. In this video, we're going to be making this beautiful dress. It's a circle dress that has a slash and spread detail at the top area. The down part is an half circle, and at the end line of the center back area, it's going to be a bit longer than the front and the sides. So this detail here will be achieved by slash and spread. Now, as usual, I'll be using my patterns, already drafted patterns. This is my basic sleeve, and the measurement on this sleeve is already 8 inches, which is okay for what I need. And this is my back pattern. This is my front pattern. Now, this pattern is a fitted pattern, and this is the full front pattern. Now, this is what I'll be using for the design detail at the front. Okay, I'll be using it for this part of the dress. It has this full basic bodice pattern, and this is the fabric I'll be using. It's 5 yards, and that's more than enough. This fabric is doesn't have any stretch. The front part is a bit shinier than the back. The back is just plain, and this is my zipper. Okay, so I'll set that aside, and we'll be starting with the front pattern. Now, the first thing I'll be doing with the front is to drop the neckline below, a bit below the basic neckline. So I'll just drop it by 0.75 and then reconnect to my shoulder. Okay, so I'll just square out a line and then use my curved ruler to connect that line to my shoulder. Okay, and then I'll do a bit of contouring around the neckline area. I'll just draw a line from the neckline curve to my bust point and then mark 0.25 on the basic neckline, then connect to my bust point, and this is the contour on the new neckline. Although we can do without this contour because what was taken out was very little. So I'll just open up my waist dart to transfer the excess from the neckline to the waist. I'll just close the contour and then cut out my neckline. And then I'll redraw my neckline. The shift on neckline is very little, but it's negligible. But I already did the contour, so it's not bad. Okay, so I'll just cut out my neckline right now. And this becomes the new neckline for this pattern. So the style on the picture has a princess dart. It has a princess dart, but I'm just going to be using my basic dart. I'll be sewing only my waist dart for this style. You can make yours a princess dart if you want. So I'm just going to close my bust dart and then transfer the excess to my waist. So this is all I'll be doing for my front pattern. And then for the back, I'm not going to touch the back pattern at all. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I'll be sewing only my waist dart for the back. So that's all I'll be doing for the front and the back pattern. So let's go to the design detail. And I'll be using this full pattern for it. I'll repeat the same thing I did on the front pattern. I'll drop the neckline by 0.75 and then do the tightening on the neck. And this is what we have on the both sides. Because this is a full pattern, the effect is going to be on the both sides. So if you check the picture here, you'll notice that the design detail is starting from one armhole, which is on the left. So I'm just marking my left and right of my pattern. So the detail is starting from the left armhole, like around the middle armhole, to the waistline of the right of the pattern. So you can see. So I'm going to try as much as I can to use my free hand to mark out the line. So I just ensure that it passes through the burst point so that I can transfer my darts to out of the pattern. So I'm not going to be sewing that bust dart at the upper part. I won't be sewing it. I'll just close it and it will just close and the pattern will still be flat. So I'm just highlighting the line I drew with my marker pen. And this is what we have right now. So I'll just cut it out. And then I'll be doing slash and spread. I'll draw my slash lines from the left part of my pattern to the right. And then I'll cut two. I'm going to cut and stop at the other part of the pattern. Please ensure to follow this process because we're trying to recreate what is in the picture, exactly what is in the picture as much as possible. So these are my slash lines. I'm drawing them right now. And so I'll just cut. I'll cut from this part of the sample to the other part. So let's cut. And this is what my pattern looks like right now. So I'll just close my bust dart. Remember, I drew my style line in such a way that it passes through the bust point. So I can easily close my bust dart. So I'll just cut out my slash lines and do my slash and spread now. So this is what it looks like. And then I'll place it on a fresh paper and I'll be spreading by 1.5. This is very basic. You can do more than that if you want yours to have more spread. So for me to be able to cut, I'll just close all the lines. Like I'll try to get my initial pattern the way it was before I did my slash and spread. So I'll just close all the slash lines so I can easily cut and there won't be any shortage of paper. So just take one that leg to the other and then you can easily cut. So this is what my pattern looks like before the slash and spread. Okay, so I will just cut out following the initial lines of the pattern. And that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'll cut out the remaining parts of the pattern so that we can have exactly what we need for this detail of the style. And here we are. This is it. So I'm going to be pleating this part and then I'll gather these other parts to form the style. Okay, so for the down part of our dress, which is the skirt, like the skirt part, I'll be making use of half circle. And then what I'll do is to divide my waist circumference by 3.142 to get the radius. And my waist circumference is 37 inches. So I'll be dividing 37 by 3.142 and that will be 11.78 inches. And this is my radius. Okay. So my shoulder to waist for my from my measurement is 18 inches. Shoulder to the full length is 48 inches. Now to get the length of my circle, I'll be subtracting shoulder to the full length from shoulder to waist. And that will be 48 minus 18 inches. So 48 minus 18 is 30 inches. So 30 inches is the length of my circle. And that's what I'll be taking at the front. And then, like I said, I'm going to drop the back a bit more than the front. Let's say like 3 or 4 inches. Okay, so this is the length of my circle. That's what I'll be using to cut on my fabric, and that's the radius. So like I said, I'll be using a radius of 11.78 and length of 30 inches. So I folded my fabric into two and I'll be starting from this end of my fabric to mark 11.78. So mark as many points as you can, then connect and this becomes the radius. Now I'll not be cutting directly on this circle part. I will step up by half of an inch when I want to cut. So I'm just writing the length for my circle. The front is 30, and then I decided to use 35 for the center back. Center back, take note. So at the back can be longer. I'll have this high low effect. Yes, that's what I'm trying to get. So from this point, this is the center front, I'll mark 30 inches. And on this side, I'll be marking 35 inches. So I'll just connect from one end to the other. So I'm just trying to confirm the circumference if it's correct. My waistline is 37. So let's see if I have half of 37 inches. Okay, that's 18.5. Okay, so I have half inch for seam allowance. So I'll be cutting out half inch from that line. Okay, so this is my circle right now, and if you observe, the center back area is quite longer than the front. You can see the difference. So these are my patterns placed on my fabric. I'm going to be cutting with half inch seam allowance, except for the sides. I'll be leaving 1 inch on the side. So at this point, I'm just marking my dart. My dart will be sewn to 1 inch before the bust point. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just redrawing the dart, and then I fix the pin at that point so that I can easily mark it at the other side. So I'm just going to notch my dart legs. And this is how it looks right now. So I'll just go on to cut the other parts of my pattern, the back and the sleeve, adding half inch seam allowance and 1 inch on the side, half inch on the center back, and then for the sleeve I'm just going to mark half at hem line, and then 1 inch on the sides and half inch at the sleeve cap area at the top. And then for this piece, to be able to cut it, I'm just going to fold all the slash and spread. I'll fold the slash and spread area to get my pattern the way it was initially before cutting. I'm just going to fold. I'm just going to pleat all the slash and spread lines to be able to cut it, and I'll add half inch seam allowance to that side. I'm just going to place this here so that I can easily cut. Okay, so I'll be cutting with half inch seam allowance all around except for the part that is around the side. Okay, so this is what we have right now. These are all my pattern pieces cut out, and this is the back. I'll be cutting my facing for the back. So I'll just fold my fabric into two, place the pattern on it, and then cut. Okay, so this is my back facing. I cut two for it, and these are all my pattern pieces cut out. So for the sleeve, I'm just going to take out my pins, and then I'll be joining the sleeve on the side using the seam allowance that I left, which is 1 inch. I'll do that for the two sleeves. And then for this part, I'm just going to pleat the slash and spread area, pleat it, pin it down, then I'm just going to run a stitch on that side to keep it in place, then iron it down. Okay, and the area where the bow is going to be, the bow and the long belt, I'll just draw gathered line there. I'll gather that area. And then for the circle, what I'll be doing is to use my bias tape to finish the hemline neatly, and then I'll join the sides to where my zipper will stop. I'll stop at where my zipper will stop. Okay, so this is the belt at the front area. I'm just cutting it out. So I've joined my patterns already. around the neckline area for the front and the back, and I did my understitch to keep it in place. I've gone ahead to iron it down. I've sewn my darts for all my patterns, and this is what it looks like. I have also joined the front. I've joined the front on the, I've sewn my dart for the front, and this is it. I've sewn the design detail like I said I was gonna do. I pleated this part and gathered this other part. So after that, I'm just going to join it on the neckline area. Okay. Now the way I'm going to do this is right sides down, wrong sides up. I see. This is the back of my fabric. So the back of the design detail, the front of design detail is facing the back of the fabric. So I'm just going to sew, notch, and then do an understitch to keep it in place, then flip it to the front. I hope that is clear. So I've sewn the belt part. Can you see that? I added interfacing on one side and I've sewn it. So I left the part open where I'll be turning it out from. I'll turn out the right side from this part and then I'll finish it with my hand needle. I'm just going to finish with my hand needle. Okay, so this is it. I fixed my zipper at the center back and this is what it looks like right now. Okay, so I'm just going to trim off all the excess interfacing. Okay, so this is what the front looks like. I have joined it. I've joined the front on the neckline area and I've also used my bias tape to finish off the hemline of the design detail. I've joined it on the sides and the armhole, so they are one right now. Okay, so I'm going to join the front and the back along the shoulder seam. So I'll just pin that down and then I'm going to be sewing on half-inch seam allowance. Okay, I'll do the same thing for the other shoulder. And then for the sides, I'm going to sew on 1-inch seam allowance that I left, joining the front to the back on the side seam. Okay, so this is the circle part, the down part of my dress. I have joined it on the sides, that's the center back area, 1-inch seam allowance, and I've already worked on the hemline. I used my bias tape to finish off the hemline neatly, and then I'm going to give it a good press to keep it flat. Okay, so the next thing I'll be doing is to take my waistline. Okay, I just notch that part. That's when my zipper will stop. Okay, so I'm just going to notch the center front area so I can easily attach it to the front, to the top of my dress. Okay, so just arrange it to make sure that it is equal the notch. So I'll just open up that part, then bring the front, that's the top. I'll also notch the middle part of the top, and then I'll match the top and the bottom part of the dress. Then I'll sew along the waistline to join them together. So I'll just pin this down, pin it down all the way, and then run a stitch. Okay, so I have worked on my sleeve hemline, as you can see. I just go and give it a good press right now. My sleeve is ready to be fixed to the armhole. I've done that for the two sleeves. And then for the belt area, I have also turned it right side out and then ironed it, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so I'm done with joining my waistline, and this is what it looks like. I've also completed my zip. I've added the zip to the down part, that's the circle part, and this is it. So what is left is for me to just take it to my ironing table and then give it a very good press. This is what my dress looks like right now. So what is left is just to iron and add the belt part. Now I'm going to be improvising. I don't have a buckle, so I'll just try to create something to finish that area. So this is the belt that I'll be attaching to the front to complete the design. So I'll just arrange it according to what's in the picture. I'll be using my hand needle to add this part. Okay, so I'm just thinking of what to do around here. I guess I'll just have to design it somehow, maybe create a bow or something to finish off that area. Okay, I think this looks beautiful. Alright guys, so this is what I came up with at the end. This is the final look. It came out so pretty. I love this dress so much. This is it. Okay. Alright, so if you have any question, you can drop them in the comment section. Let me know what you would do differently. I'm so in love with this project. It's beautiful. I love it and it came out well. Maybe next time I'll get the buckle. Okay guys, thanks for watching.